Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard. What are the stories that we're covering today on the Disappointed Cat Morning Show? I'm glad you asked. 8-year-old charged with blasphemy in Pakistan. Gay conversion. We're going to be talking about some people having to pay a lot of money. Teenagers. Teenagers can get COVID. Teenagers can have long COVID. But are they really being looked at? Are we really paying attention to them? The BBC says no. And Florida man. Who's our Florida man microphone? It's Ron DeSantis. Governor Ron DeSantis is today's Florida man. There are many Florida men before him. I'm sure Ron DeSantis will be the official Florida man in the future. But right now, let's do something funny.
So here's the vet bill from today. Not sure how you're going to pay that. You do live rent-free here, and I do pay for your food, so maybe get a job.
That dog does not want to get a job. It does not. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm going to check out the chat. You'll see that I do this, everyone. If you're new here, I like interacting with people in the chat. In between stories, I wrote a piece this morning about Rand Paul's medical license being revoked. Of course, it was satire. Of course, it was comical. But Rand Paul, what a problem guy. He's got a lot of problems, and we're going to be covering Rand Paul too in the show. What's up, Grand Farmer? Simply Secular Dave. Good morning, Dave. John Hudson. Glad to see you. Lee Spanner. Yeah, Lee, have I started the show in the past? I guess I've started the show early in the past. I don't think I was ready today, though. What's up, Tobin? I like the joke, to tell you the truth, Dr. Mordecai. I like Tobin's joke here. Why did Rand Paul delay the vote on the COVID-19 response? He wasn't sure how to vote and wanted to wait until he was positive. I thought that was good. I chuckled. Bonnie. What's up, Dragons in Genesis? Are you on the road today, Jason? Driving around? Boston Kennard. I am Boston's Kennard. Wild Eden, glad to see you. What's up? Rage. Stopping by to give in the thumbs up. Thank you, sir. It is much appreciated. All right. So announcements. I had Caitlin Bailey. I dropped that video last night. Jack Maturko and I chatted with ex-sex worker. She was a sex worker in high school. Caitlin Bailey. She's a comedian. She's a sex worker advocate. She has a one-woman show playing in New York City right now, Whore's Eye View. And we had a chance to sit down with Caitlin before. She's been on the channel before. She's been on our old podcast, Naked Diner, too. She's always fun to talk with. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you watched the video last night, I hope you enjoyed it. In case you haven't watched it, you can check it out on the channel. Dragons in Genesis says, you have to play the Florida Man game. Google Florida Man followed by your birthday to learn how you should celebrate. I'm afraid. But I will play that. I'll check that out, dude. I'll check that out in between the two shows because we have a show going on after this, the after party after show for atheists, humanists, and progressives. So in between the two shows, I will check out Florida Man and my birthday, and I'll Google it and see what happens. I am afraid. So if you want to be on the panel on the after party after show, there's a link below in the description. It starts at 10 o'clock. We talk for an hour. We talk about anything, to tell you the truth, a wide variety of topics. All right. You want to do some memes, everyone? You want to do some memes before we actually start talking about the 8-year-old who got charged with blasphemy? Are they in jail? Yes, the 8-year-old is in jail. Do they face a penalty? Death penalty? Yes, they do. But first, let's try to brighten up the day with memes. Here's the first one. Is this fair? Christian firefighters. Well, it's really not a relevant question whether or not the meme is fair, because jokes aren't fair, everyone. Jokes typically are not fair. Hilarious, but not always fair. Here's a more serious meme. It has some very coarse language in it, so beware. Check it out. Oh, that beaver. Damn it. Oh, damned it. Oh, I don't know if that's his battle cry. I don't know if the beaver he just wants to damn it. That's what, for that large body of water. And the last meme, is it cat related? It may be cat related. Here it comes, everyone. When your cat knows you're vegan, so they bring you vegan kills. And look, it's a leaf. The cat seems really happy about the leaf that it just brought us. Am I going to bring the party down, everyone, talking about the dead rat in my backyard? I think I'm going to bring the party down for a second. As you may know, East Somerville, the city where I live, has a rat problem. And there is currently the corpse of a rat in the backyard. And I believe I am going to be the one to pick it up and to dispose of the body. My girlfriend informed me of the rat corpse yesterday. Might have been the day before. I was busy yesterday. And I feel that no one else is going to pick it up. And who knows how long it would take nature to take care of the rodent's body. So I believe I'm going to go out today and take care of it. Yes, I'm very happy about this particular job task. Going to check out the chat before we start into the news cycle. Oh, hey, what's up, Phil Lister? Yes, in fact, that is the link. Simply Secular Dave, Sex Work and Comedy with Caitlin Bailey right there. Great. I liked the conversation. I always liked talking with Caitlin. She is really funny. She is quite knowledgeable. And the chemistry, I like the chemistry between Jack, her, and myself. Cracked a bunch of jokes, talked about some serious topics too. All right. I think I'm caught up. With everyone here. All right, okay. All right. So what are we doing? Are we talking about the 8-year-old charged with blasphemy in Pakistan? Yes, we are. 8-year-old becomes youngest person charged with blasphemy in Pakistan. Hindu boy faces possible death penalty after being accused of intentionally urinating in a madrasa library. Look, who hasn't had to take a pee? Who hasn't had to urinate in an inappropriate place because nature calls? I don't think this kid knew he was going to get the death penalty or that he would be thrown in jail for doing it. Let's check out the story. An 8-year-old Hindu boy is being held in protective police custody in East Pakistan after becoming the youngest person ever to be charged with blasphemy in the country. Yet, everyone, it's the youngest person as of now. But I think Pakistan can do better. That's just my personal opinion. The boy's family is in hiding, and many of the Hindu community in the conservative district of Rahim Yar Khan in Punjab have fled their homes after a Muslim crowd attacked a Hindu temple. After the boy's release on bail last week, troops were deployed to the area to quell any further unrest. On Saturday, 20 people were arrested in connection with the temple attack. The boy is accused of intentionally urinating on a carpet in a library of a madrasa where religious books are kept last month. Blasphemy charges can carry the death penalty. In a sane world, this would just be one horrible joke. It would just be a satirical piece, but it's not. It is 100% true. The Guardian, where the article comes from, The Guardian knows the name of the boy and his family members, but has chosen to protect their identities for their safety. Speaking from an undisclosed location, a member of the boy's family told The Guardian he, the boy, is not even aware of such blasphemy issues, and he has been falsely indulged in these matters. He still doesn't understand what his crime was and why he was kept in jail for a week. We have left our shops and work. The entire community is scared, and we fear a backlash. We don't want to return to this area. Well, I don't blame you. We don't see any concrete and meaningful action will be taken against the culprits or to safeguard the minorities living here. Blasphemy laws have been disproportionately used in the past against religious minorities in Pakistan. Although no blasphemy executions have been carried out in the country since the death penalty was introduced for the crime in 1986, suspects are often attacked and sometimes killed by mobs. Ramesh Kumar, a lawmaker and head of the Pakistan Hindu Council, said, "The attack on the temple and blasphemy allegations against the 8-year-old minor boy has really shocked me. More than 100 homes of the Hindu community have been emptied due to fear of attack." I don't live in Pakistan, obviously. I've never been to Pakistan. I've never been to India, but does it surprise me that mobs, religious mobs, fundamentalist religious mobs would go on a rampage due to a conspiracy theory or the idea, yes, I said idea, that the religious feelings have been insulted? That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. And I think if you're watching this right now or later, and you've spent any time in the atheist community, any time in the skeptic community, it doesn't surprise you either. In December last year, a large, violent mob of conservative Muslims demolished a century-old Hindu temple in the northwestern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. According to a report by the U.S. Commission of International Religious Freedoms published last year, Pakistan reported the highest number of incidents of mob activity, mob violence, and or threats of mob violence as a result of alleged blasphemous attacks. Pakistan number one, everyone. I mean, there's one consolation in this. At least it's not about, it's a story not about evangelical Christians trying to overthrow this government. But that's what theocratic states look like, right? This is where what religious fundamentalism looks like. Mobs of religious extremists attacking minorities, religious minorities. Gonna check out the chat. The religion of peace. Indeed, Phil Lister. Indeed. Urine. Piss makes Allah angry? Probably. Hello, MC Fractal. I hope you're doing well. MC Fractal, once again, does some fantastic art. You should drop a link there, MC Fractal, to your site or to some art. I don't want to shit you, right? There's one thing I learned from family therapy with my dysfunctional family decades ago, everyone, of course, my adopted family, is that you should not be shitting each other. All right. Darkness surrounds. That's right. John Hudson. That's why, I don't know. It's important to laugh. It's important to laugh. Keep our own sanity. Well, my own sanity, at least. All right. So we're going to go from Pakistan and religious fundamentalism and people being crazy to what's that? This country? Craziness in here? Well, this is true, MC Fractal. A lot of people may not. MC Fractal says conflict between Hindus and Muslims seem to have a long-standing feature in Indian history. As most of you know, during the colonial era, when India and Pakistan were British colonies, it was actually one colony. And when Britain left and when the colony became independent, there was a partition, and Pakistan became its own country, and India became its own country. But during the colonial period, it was one unit. Oh, Kat, I try to keep up. This is an interesting question. Your coffee mug is too plain. You need a design or a clever quote. If anyone wants to send me a clever design or clever quote for my coffee mug, I'd be happy. Right now, I am pragmatically poor. I have very little cash coming in, so I am not spending. I'm not spending a whole lot of money. Which brings us, of course, to the fact that there are no ads on this channel, everyone. No ads. Because even though I don't have a whole ton of money coming in right now. I just don't like ads. And so if you want to contribute a couple of shekels, become a patron, become a YouTube member, that would be swell. Wonderful. All right, so what are we going to listen? What are we going to watch first? I got 2 videos here. Rand Paul or hospitals fill up with Delta patients. We have one of 2. Oh, good. Here's MC Fractal's gallery right there. Very talented artist. Underrated, too. So, Rand Paul or Delta? My boat keeps you poor? Your boat keeps you poor? Yeah, yeah. Late-stage capitalism keeps me poor, Phil Lister. American-style capitalism keeps me poor. All right, we're going to go, oh, well, hospitals go first. Hospitals and Delta. All right, that's what we're going to do. Hospitals fill up with Delta, everyone. All right, we're going to watch me hit a couple of buttons here. And hospitals fill up as Delta surges across the U.S. That is the name of the video. And we're going to check this out. It's from Reuters. And let's do this thing. Back to the original. And here we go, everyone.
Hospitals in the United States are filling up rapidly as the Delta variant sends COVID-19 cases surging to a 6-month high. The U.S. has averaged 100,000 cases for 3 days in a row, up 35% over the past week, according to a Reuters tally. That's largely due to Delta sweeping through unvaccinated swaths of southern states. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson said Monday only 8 intensive care unit beds were available in the state, while Texas Governor Greg Abbott asked hospitals to postpone elective surgeries for the time being. In Florida, which set a single-day record on Sunday with over 28,000 cases, according to the CDC, hospitalizations have been at record highs for 8 days in a row. That's led to renewed debate over vaccine and mask mandates. A growing number of top education officials have shifted gears, calling for mandatory vaccinations for teachers and mask mandates in schools. Meanwhile, the Pentagon announced Monday it would seek the president's approval to require military members to get vaccinated. Louisiana, Florida, and Arkansas reported the most new cases in the past week based on population.
I don't know if anyone has seen the chart for Florida, but Florida's cases right now, they are at a high watermark. So back when things were bad last year, March, April, things are significantly worse than back then in terms of new cases. 8 ICU beds in Arkansas, that's open. Everything else just taken by patients. That's crazy, everyone. Paul Camish, glad to see you, Paul, here. Take me out of this, Paul. Make it better. I did a live stream yesterday, and YouTube pulled it and banned me for going live for 2 weeks. I won my appeal, and my video's back up. Sometimes you can win a YouTube appeal. Yes, from what I have heard from other content creators is that it is possible to win YouTube appeals. And so you shouldn't feel like it's futile in case YouTube does, throw this ban hammer on you. You can fight it. Hey, remember, Sammy Jenkins. I hope you're doing well, Sammy. We just went over the insane amount of COVID cases here in the States. We're just talking about, and maybe tomorrow I'll show the chart. I don't have the chart ready right now of Florida cases. I was watching CNN last night with a girlfriend, and the chart in Florida, it's horrific. This is the most COVID ever in the state. Explosion, right? It's an explosion right now. And we're going to talk about Ron DeSantis later on in the show, everyone. That scumbag, right? We're going to talk about long COVID in teens too. Did you know that Florida is actually opening schools? I think it's next week. Oh, man. Well, this is correct, Phil Lister. Appeals to Facebook do not work. I have appealed a few things on Facebook. Never gotten my appeal, properly addressed. All right. What's the next story, everyone? We just talked about the 8-year-old in Pakistan. We talked about hospitalization and Delta here in the States. Next story, please. Founders of New Jersey gay conversion therapy practice lose appeal, and they must pay. How much is that number? That's $3.5 million. That's a lot of money, everyone. So this is your feel-good story. This is your bit of Schadenfreude right now, that these jerks, the founders of a New Jersey gay conversion practice, have to pay $3.5 million just for being a big bag of dicks. Link in the description below, everyone. The founders of a Jersey City-based gay conversion therapy firm reneged on a 2015 settlement agreement to never again engage in the discredited practices and must pay $3.5 million, a New Jersey appellate panel ruled, affirming a prior decision in 2012. 4 former clients sued. Check out the name. Jews offering new alternatives for healing. Jonah. I'm just going to sigh. Claiming they suffered psychological abuse during treatment sessions. This gets crazy. Among the claims they made in testimony was that the treatment included clients undressing in front of each other and pummeling effigies of their mothers as part of a program that promised it would eliminate same-sex attraction. Can I read that sentence over again? Because, sometimes I feel like I need to read a sentence over again because it's crazy. It's so crazy. Even for this show, it's crazy. And I feel the need to reread it because it's so nuts. Among the claims made in testimony was that the treatment included clients undressing in front of each other and pummeling effigies of their mothers as part of the program that promised it could eliminate same-sex attraction. I don't know. That's just nuts. So you're naked. So tell me, am I imagining this? Is that you're naked and you're punching what mannequins of your mom? Pictures of your mom? Clay, little Play-Doh figurines of your mom? I don't know, everyone. The plaintiffs brought the case back to court in 2018 when they found that Goldberg and Burke were not abiding to their agreement. The trial court judge found that Goldberg and Burke violated the conditions of the settlement just 2 weeks after the agreement was signed. Burke and Goldberg then appealed that decision, leading to the July 7th ruling by the appellate court panel. From late 2015 to May 2018, there were numerous email exchanges in which Goldberg, and to a lesser extent Burke, communicated with people seeking conversion therapy and therapists providing conversion therapy. They also followed up to ensure that they received referral fees, the appellate ruling said. People engage in shady activities. I just, if you're going to do that, if you're going to engage in illegal activities, don't email people. Get a burner phone. Why don't people use burner phones? Microphone. Why? All right, last panel on this incredibly stupid story. The court also found that Goldberg and Burke established the Jewish Institute for Global Awareness, JIFCA, which was a successor in interest and continuation of Jonah. According to the National Institutes of Health, gay conversion therapy has been repudiated by major mental health organizations because of increasing evidence that they are ineffective and may cause harm to patients and their families who fail to change. A number of states, including New Jersey, have laws banning the practice in minors. I still can't get around people stripped naked, and then punching out images of their mom. And somehow, in the religious minds of Goldberg and Burke, this works. This is what happens when you don't have science. This is what happens when you don't follow the data. This is what happens when your frontal lobes have been are being controlled by religion. Gonna check out the chat. Right? John Hudson. John Hudson, one comment. John Hudson, second comment. John Hudson, third comment. Right, John Hudson. I think that is not a gratuitous amount of what the fucks, to tell you the truth. That is fully appropriate to have 3 what the fucks. Let's see. Just checking out the chat, everyone. Dragons in Genesis, spot on. Can have a healing center called Jonah unless it includes a gigantic fish. Interesting story. So both my kids are atheists. They're raised as atheists. And we have a lot of conversations about faith, but there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that they just don't know. Or if I've told them once or twice, they can forget about it. I just had to go over the whole Jonah and the whale story with my 16-year-old the other day on the way to the family get-together, because she wasn't aware of how crazy Jonah and the whale is. Because, of course, Jonah, and tell me if I'm wrong, if I have this story incorrect, God wanted him to go to Nineveh. Jonah said no. He ran, got on a boat, got swallowed by a fish, in the fish for 3 days, got spat out, goes to Nineveh. God, the Ninevians changed their mind. And then Jonah still wants them to be punished by God. And God's like, no, dude, that's not going to happen. It's a crazy story. But my kid didn't know that, so I had to speed her up on Bronze Age mythology. Right, Sammy Jenkins, right? For fuck's sake, naked and punching out images of bombs, right? So they're able to get misogyny packed up into the therapy too. No, imaginary God. The technique of being naked and punching out images of your bomb have not been empirically tested to make anyone. I mean, how would that make anyone heterosexual to begin with, to tell you the truth? MC Fractal points out psychologist Kenneth Zucker was fired and his clinic shut down after he was caught doing conversion therapy with transgender children. It's just horrible stuff, man. All right, everyone. A crazy story in the Bible book. Could that be true? Well, it's in the Bible. It may not be true, but it's in the Bible. All right, where are we? 28 minutes into the show. This is where we do the halftime tummy rub show, where we take a step back, try to get a couple of laughs in before we start talking about the next stories. We're gonna, like Florida man Ron DeSantis and teenagers with long COVID. Please like the video. If you've gotten a chuckle, if you learned something, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let's do something funny, everyone.
Hey man, which one of these is your cup? I don't know. Probably all 3. You sure? I don't know, but I'll go get another one just in case. Hey guys, do you guys need more cups but you don't know whose cups they are lying around your house? Yeah, thanks. What's up guys, my name's PD and I'm offering my services to leave fucking cups all over your house. Awesome. Thanks. Come on guys, let me show you how I do my thing that people love. Look at this cup I left on the table from yesterday. I got a new cup today because I'm thirsty today also. Look at me take a little sip of water and then get distracted by a helicopter. Is that a helicopter? Yeah. Look, now there's 2 cups and there is a little collection getting started. Oh my god, look at that tiny cup. It's like an adorable little cup family. I'm obsessed. Aren't you obsessed? So cute. I know, I'm obsessed. Who's that? Oh, it's the guest we're trying to impress. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, we're trying to impress a guest. Hey, man. Hey, what's up? Hey, man. Wow, I love all these fucking cups everywhere. Thanks, man. I just do my thing and people usually love it. You're amazing, man. Thanks, man. Wow, I love all these fucking cups, man. So anyway, you can invite me into your home and I'll do my thing in your house with the cups that people really love.
You can see the people watching the show decrease whenever I play one of these. I think they're hilarious videos, to tell you the truth. PDUSA, that's the name of the TikToker who makes these. Brilliant. I think they're hilarious. Brilliant comedy there. And my girlfriend, if she's on call, she's on a business call, but I've been known to leave. How many cups do I have on my desk right now? It's more than one. There's more than one desk here. There's more than one cup that I've left. And I'd like to seed the house with cups. I'm totally guilty of that. Scapegoat Iscariot. Hope you're doing well. Tesla Ranger. This is the signed sequel that didn't get picked up, indeed. And Dotted Mordecai says, I leave full beers all around the house when I get drunk. You leave full beers? Insert comment about alcohol abuse. Oh, obvious joke, everyone. But I had to take a swing at that. I had to take a swing at it. All right. Legitimate news story. From, I believe this is a BBC story. Links are in the description. What is happening to me? The teenagers trying to make sense of long COVID. It took Nim, I'm going to pronounce their name as Nim, or Niam. I'll go with Niam. 20 minutes to wash her face, and she cried the whole time. That was in December 2020 with a 19-year-old first-year student at the University of Leeds, had been living with long COVID for 2 months. I didn't have the energy to move my arm, she says. She remembers sitting on the toilet, trying to muster the strength to stand up and run the tap. It took all her energy just to switch on the water. It sounds daft, but I cried, she says. I was like, what is happening to me? Niam is one of the estimated 106,000 under 25s living with long COVID in the UK. Of these young people, 72,000 are 17 to 24, and 34,000 are under 16. While long COVID is a condition that generally affects older people, teens and children can and do become ill. A recent study by King's College London found that 1 in 50 children with symptomatic COVID had symptoms lasting more than 8 weeks. The most common, including headaches, tiredness, a sore throat, and loss of smell. We can definitely say that children can get long COVID, said Dr. Elaine Maxwell of the National Institute for Health Research. But the problem with long COVID is that it's not one definition. Common symptoms of long COVID listed by the NHS include sensory problems, such as the loss of smell and taste, brain fog, and cardiac respiratory symptoms, but children tend to have slightly different symptoms. A recent study of 2 million insurance claims from the U.S. organization Fair Health found that under 18s were most likely to report intestinal issues and adjustment disorders, emotional or behavioral reactions to stressful life events. Due to this divergence, these symptoms are sometimes treated with skepticism. We are still at the stage where some people are saying that children don't have long COVID, says Maxwell. Is it just anxiety? Anxious parents? This disbelief can extend to teachers, social workers, and even medical professionals, compounding the stress and uncertainty of life as a teen with long COVID. People with similar syndromes, such as chronic fatigue, often report being dismissed by healthcare workers. The thing is, what I have discovered, or what, we've all seen this on this show as we've covered COVID over the last few months, is that COVID exacerbates. It makes worse whatever you're experiencing to begin with. You have heart problems, your heart problem's going to be worse. So I'm not surprised that teenagers and young adults, because let's not forget, the brain matures quite a bit between the ages of 16 to 25, 18 to 25, and young adults off to college can experience mental illness just being out of their own, their native environment, out of their home environment, a lot of stress. And then you get COVID on top of that. How can you not have mental illness or stress due to that? Let's go on to the next. This is a long article, by the way. If you want to see the full article, the link is in the description. We can definitely say, all right, so we'll just go down to the next one here. People are being minimized and not believed. said Sammy McFarland of Long COVID Kids, which has 3,500 members ranging from the age from 7 months to 18 years. McFarland set up the support group after her 15-year-old daughter, Kitty, got long COVID in the spring of 2020. At a medical appointment that autumn, McFarland, who also has long COVID, mentioned Kitty's condition to a nurse. She told me that my daughter was mimicking my symptoms and it was related to the lockdown, and she would feel better when she saw her friends again, McFarland says. Look, everyone, I'm just going to give you some psychology 101, psychology and health advice 101. I'm not a medical practitioner, but or a psychologist, but I will tell you this. If your psychologist, if your health professional doesn't look for physical symptoms before they just assume it's behavioral, then they're not fucking doing their job right. It's as simple as that. The obvious solution would be for the government to offer under 18s the COVID vaccine, as is the case in the US, which recommends that children of 12 and older are vaccinated, and Ireland, where 16 is the minimum age. And in Ireland, the age is going to be dropping to 12 on Thursday. The UK government announced on the 4th of August that everyone aged 16 or older can have the vaccine within weeks, but healthy 12 to 15-year-olds remain excluded. That was a pregnant pause to chomp on that little fact. The majority of the parents in our group do want their children to have the vaccine and extremely frustrated that children haven't been included on the list of people allowed to get vaccine at the moment, says McFarland. I just assumed, and this is going to be me speaking as idiotic American person in the States, I just assumed everyone over age 12, whether you're in the UK or Ireland or wherever the vaccine is available, that if you were 12 and older, that you'd be eligible to get the vaccine, but apparently not in the UK. How are they going to open schools if they don't have kids vaccinated? Checking out the chat, everyone. The scapegoat is scary. It says, during the first year of COVID, I knew one person who got it. They survived. Now I know of 3. 2 of them were young, interesting. And the oldest of the 3 died. I'm sorry to hear that. It's just as serious as it was before. Indeed. Dragons in Genesis says, this has been also happening with post-treatment Lyme disease. I've seen that happen. One of my ex-wife's friends, their kid had Lyme disease, and it took them forever to get diagnosed properly. This has been happening with post-treatment Lyme disease syndrome, despite the condition being well documented by CDC, WHO, and Johns Hopkins. Indeed, it's a shame, but what's horrible is that you're already sick. Let's say you're already sick, and then you have to go into a doctor's office, and then you have to advocate for yourself. It's a difficult road if you don't have friends and family, if you don't have someone who is close to you, who's a medical professional, to give you a hand, to advocate for you. Oh, man. All right. John Hudson said, I have felt tired ever since having COVID. Over a year now. I'm sorry to hear that, John. Sorry to hear that. Oh, thank you, the girlfriend. It's pronounced Neve. Thank you very much. All right. So are we about to talk about... So what are we doing here? We just talked about how dangerous long COVID is for kids, for people who are younger, and how they often get misdiagnosed. And now we're going to talk about motherfucking Rand Paul. You want to hate on Rand Paul for a bit? Let's hate on Rand Paul for a bit, because he is a hateable dude. This story, Rand Paul's incredibly dangerous remarks on COVID and kids. Let's check this out.
Dr. Patel, back to the subject of our ongoing pandemic, I want to play for you a bit of a video put out today by Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky.
Children are not at any more risk from COVID than they are from a seasonal flu.
Doctor, I'm duty bound to point out this is the guy who hand delivered a Trump letter to the Kremlin to Vladimir Putin. This is apparently an eye doctor who is known to traffic in conspiracy theories and the like. What is the danger of that kind of message?
Yeah, it's incredibly dangerous, irresponsible, and candidly, Brian, any medical board would take away his license. In fact, the Federation of State Medical Boards is asking for that very type of disinformation to lead to revoke of licensure. So I encourage people to think about that. Number one, there is absolutely no basis to compare this to the seasonal flu. For starters, we actually have a vaccine for children for the seasonal flu. Number two, we have never seen these types of long-term impacts months out where we're still seeing effects of COVID infections, even mild ones in children, and certainly not this degree of severe hospitalization and some of the inflammatory syndromes. I think number three, something that should be made incredibly clear, the Delta variant has been a game changer in so many ways because it is so infectious. You've heard the analogy that in an unvaccinated person, it's as infectious as chickenpox. And that is nowhere near what we see with a seasonal flu. And then, well, I'll put a capstone on it. Sadly, Brian, something we're not talking about enough. Under the age of 12, we really don't have that many treatments to offer children. Many of those antibody treatments and things we've been talking about on the show for months now that President Trump received, for example, and Rudy Giuliani and others, those are not even available to children. So if a child comes in, we have supportive treatment, not much else to offer them. Very different from anything. And to compare it to the flu is just adding to the lies that have mounted, not just from Senator Paul, but from others.
Wait, before you scroll away, Democrat.
Sorry, I am scrolling away. Chuck Schumer. Rand Paul, and I gotta agree with Scapegoat Iscariot. I think Rand Paul is far more evil than he is stupid. I don't think Rand Paul, despite being named for Ayn Rand, I don't think Rand Paul is stupid. I think that he is an evil man doing evil things. I think he's more evil than stupid, and I agree with you on that. So you ask yourself, how can things get worse? Well, and that brings us to Florida man. And I know, I've been teasing Florida man, Ron DeSantis here, for a while, but now here comes the story of Florida man Ron DeSantis. How can you make situations worse, Ron DeSantis? How is it possible to make the situation worse? Here he is, making the situation worse. Florida's governor says school leaders may have salary withheld if they require masks. A majority of Florida's K-12 schools prepare to reopen campuses at full capacity this week, many of them on Tuesday. Oh, that's today. Governor Ron DeSantis announced the State Board of Education could withhold pay from school leaders who implement mask mandates for students. Unvaccinated people can spread COVID like the chickenpox, which is super spreadable. But Ron DeSantis doesn't want to have mask mandates and willing to punish leaders who are doing mask mandates in schools. Let's keep going. The move to potentially punish educators follows days of controversy during which school district superintendents and school board members seeking to comply with CDC guidelines ignored an executive order from DeSantis banning school districts from requiring students to wear face masks. In a statement to CBS 4, the governor's office said the State Board of Education may narrowly tailor any financial consequences to those who violate the law. It adds that the governor, who opposed all face covering mandates since the start of the pandemic, is intent on protecting parents' rights. You don't have rights to your children. I'm going to keep saying it. Children are not like coffee cups. I can break this coffee cup with abandon if I want to. I could just break it. The girlfriend would make me clean it up. I should clean it up because but I could do all kinds of things to this coffee cup. Children are not coffee cups. Children are not things. You, as a parent, if you are a parent, are a regent of that person's rights. You are a protector of that person up until the time that they can exercise their rights, which is 18 years old. Ultimately, education funding is for the students. The kids didn't make the decision to encroach upon parents' rights. So any financial penalties for breaking the rule would be targeted to those officials who made the decision. The governor's spokeswoman, Christina Pushaw, said in a tweet. Teachers and other employees would not have their pay withheld. Only the salaries of the superintendents and school board members who intentionally defied the EO and the subsequent rules protecting parents' rights could be affected by the latest directive, she explained. Florida. For those of you who have been under a rock or have been sleeping at the wheel, who don't know what's going on with Florida, Florida is instead with an alarming COVID-19 spike fueled by the highly contagious Delta variant, making many pockets of the state dangerous hotspots. Case numbers are soaring and hospitals are filling up with COVID patients, including children. On Sunday, as of Sunday, at least 135 kids were hospitalized with the coronavirus. Ron DeSantis, accessory to murder. Is he an accessory or is he just a murderer? That's a very good question. I'll leave that to the chat to decide. He's a murderer. He just kills people. He's just there responsible. There has to be some responsibility, don't you think? I'll call him a murderer. I don't have a problem with that. And once again, John Hudson, 1 WTF, 2 WTFs, 3 WTFs. This is true, John Hudson. It is worth every single WTF. Hey, Dee Parks. Glad to see you're here. Hope you're doing well. Well, that's it, Dee Parks. So if you don't agree to put kids in danger, I won't pay you. Thanks for joining my death cult. And that's what evangelical Christianity is. That's what the Republican Party is. They are both dead cults. They're one and the same when you think about it, right? They are death cults. Yes, Dr. Mordecai, I do remember that story of the fisticuffs between Rand Paul and his neighbor. That was a while back. And he is a murderer. He is a murderer. And you know, this just, yeah, and Greg Abbott too in Texas. John Hudson says a Dallas school district says they will be making their district mask mandated. Yeah, and the governor, Greg Abbott, says they'll be fined a bunch, $10,000 a day? $10,000 a day. Well, F him. F Governor, fuck, Governor Scott. Fuck Ron DeSantis. Fuck them all. Okay. You want to do something funny? I just did this whole litany of fucks. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about getting any ads on this channel, so I can say it as much as I want to, I guess. Let's do something funny, everyone. Put a smile on our faces, right? That cat wants a burrito. He wants all the burrito. The cat in the background, I don't know if you saw the cat in the background. The cat's like, I don't want any part of the shenanigans going on here. Whatever's going on, I'm not interested in. Oh, it is so adorable. And I feel better about that, Dee Parks. I do feel better. Kitties like burritos too. That's right. Cats do. Apparently, I guess that's Chipotle burritos. And of course, he's still going to eat it. My cat was, yeah. Well, what I would do, I would probably cut out the part that the cat was eating, give it to the cat, and then eat the rest of the burrito myself. Yes, my cat and I do have, I have to tell you something. black female atheist. I'm going to talk a little bit about me for a minute. I have never liked sharing my food up until recently. And that's probably a character flaw in some way, but I have gotten around it, to tell you the truth. So I'm much more shareable with my food. All right. We covered a whole bunch of crazy stories. We're doing the after party, after show at 10 o'clock, everyone, in 10 minutes. You know the stories we covered, right? I'm not going to go through all the stories again. What I am going to do is play the thank you video. Please throw a couple of shekels in. Become a YouTube member. Become a patron. If you can, if it's financially viable for you, right? And now let's do the thank you video. And then I'll see you at 10 o'clock, hopefully. And if not 10, then tomorrow at 9.